What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about a old but resurfaced leak slash rumor that God of War Ragnarok, God of War, whatever you want to call it, because it's not actually going to be called Ragnarok, is only coming to PS5. Now, again, one thing that's important to note is that this leak is actually months and months and months old, and that it was just recently kind of resurfaced because people are talking about God of War quite often again. It's made the news rounds, right? A lot of articles are writing about it. I have a couple things I want to say about it, but you know me, from someone who is very supportive of games only going on PS5. I couldn't let this slip. It's a very unpopular opinion. I've gotten, you guys have gotten very mad at me before. Some of you guys, a lot of people, I think, are starting to understand where I'm coming from and aren't getting nearly as mad. And no, I really don't think you need to get all that mad, but that's the way the world is, right? So, before we get too far into this, make sure, as always, if you guys haven't already, you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on. Obviously, when Sony does their, in replacement of E3 show, which I do think they're going to do, all that stuff, I'll be covering it on this channel, as well as E3 and all that stuff. So, again, make sure you're subscribed, bell icon turned on, and hit that like button. Definitely helps these videos out. Now, what's important, I saw this on some articles, but I didn't see it on others, is this comes from Navtra, who we've talked to, and I hope I'm saying that right, by the way. I've heard of her before numerous times. I thought she, retired. Didn't, over a year or so ago, didn't she say, she's done doing leaks and that she was just, maybe that was only Nintendo, because I'm pretty sure she was known for Nintendo as well. I don't honestly know the behind the scenes story. I know it's a Reset Era user, right? I hate Reset Era personally, so I hope the website just shuts down one day. But that's again where this comes from, and again, it's an older thing. Now, some articles are saying it, some articles are not. Turns out, and this is very important, this actually is like a make or break thing, in my opinion. David Jaffe, if you guys know who David Jaffe is, David Jaffe has said that he believes, from what he understands or what he knows, that the game is actually going to be on both. But say what you want about him, if you've watched some of his live streams, which I've tried to, he's interviewed some pretty interesting people. When he interviewed Colin Moriarty, I don't remember where it is in the interview, but it's like in the first half for sure. Colin asks him, actually, I think David Jaffe asked Colin what he thinks is going on at Santa Monica, at Sony Santa Monica, and Colin said back to him, he has no clue. He, what do you think, basically? What do you think, David? And David Jaffe said he knows everything that's going on there. He's obviously just not allowed to say it, but he's, insanely confident that he knows 100% what's happening at that studio. Now, again, I throw that in there because if he said the game's going to be both PS4, PS5, well, we start to get into a conundrum, right? Did he say that to, did he say that, and he probably shouldn't have, and then he got in trouble for it? Possible. Did he say that knowing that he's lying just to kind of get people off the tracks? That's also possible, right? Because if he just, he could have said right there, oh, they're making this game and that game. Now, obviously, that's a really big deal that you probably wouldn't want to say, but I would say, saying out loud, if God of War, this upcoming God of War, is only on one console versus both, that's a pretty big deal as well. So, I know it goes back to that, discussion. Overall, it's a leak from this Navtra that the game is only going to be on PS5. It does conflict with David Jaffe, so put as much stock into that as you want. I mean, I'm not going to pace back and forth at night. It's not like I'm not going to be able to sleep, stuff like that. But if that's where you choose to go, that's totally okay. And again, from my perspective, from where I stand, and as I've said it before, I'm totally okay with it. I think specifically for games I don't know, saying for the biggest games could sound hypocritical, right? Because those are obviously the games that people want the most. People want to experience the most. So, there maybe is a bigger push to get them to release on both PS4 and PS5. And before you say it, because I know, I don't expect people to watch every video I make, and I know that there's people that come in that are brand new. I've said numerous times where where I stand on PS5. I know money doesn't grow on trees. I know the PS5 is hard to find. So I'm not saying I want them to screw people over that don't have the PS5, okay? Never said that, never will. You'll just have to kind of go back and look, right, if you want more of where I stand on the issue. But I think God of War is a really good example of a game that should only be on PS5. To be quite honest with you, again, I think Horizon should have only, I made that video the day Horizon got announced. I said that Horizon releasing on the PS4 is a massive mistake. It did really well in terms of views, and it did, I think, the worst dislike to like ratio I've ever gotten in a video of all time. And I think, again, people's opinions on that have actually kind of changed over time, where people are a little bit more willing to listen now, which is kind of funny. But it simply comes down to me believing that it would hold a game back. I know there are, because I've actually seen interviews, I know there are developers that don't believe that theory, and they're a developer. I'm a nobody, okay? I sit here in my little office making these videos, so you could say, like, me compared to them, who am I? It's just my opinion. That's all it is. Now, I have seen some people say that they do believe that. I've seen actually people in the industry saying that. So it's not like I'm alone, but it's also not like everybody saying it. There are some people that say, yeah, that would be considered an excuse if you say something like that. If you say, oh, PS4 held God of War back, that's an excuse. I personally don't think so, just because, like, I don't know, it's just the way it is. If you make a game only for PS5, you're gonna just, I think, flat out be able to put more into it than if you had to make the game for PS5 and PS4. Because, I mean, just how it starts out, in game development, you always make the game to the lowest common denominator. You always make it for the thing that runs it the worst, and then and I guess that sounds bad, but you make it towards the lowest thing, and then you up it for everything else. And then depending on how much time you want to put in that process, that's up to you. And yes, as we've seen with games like Cyberpunk and some others, it actually ends up running better on next gen. It seems like almost last gen is holding the game back, right? That's kind of what we're experiencing with some of these games. But that's another thing. Like, do you want God of War, Ragnarok, or whatever you want to call this game? Do you want the game to come out and just be a total train wreck on PS4? Now, would it be? Not necessarily. You've seen a game like Miles, even Spider-Man Remastered. Those were on both. Sackboy, stuff like that. But, I mean, come on. There's, like Miles is great, and obviously people that are buying PS5 are also buying Miles, but Miles is not even remotely close in terms of what the game can do because of the system compared to, like, Demon's Souls. It's not even in the same stratosphere, okay? Even, I would say, Returnal. It's such a difference, and you can bet Ratchet and Clank will be a difference, too. You know what I mean? So that's what I would just, like, that's why I want to see Horizon so bad, is because, obviously, it's on both. Like, will Horizon look worse than, and I guess, like, that sounds bad, but just, stay with me. Will Horizon not look as good as Returnal? Will Horizon not look as good as Demon's Souls? Now, yeah, they're different games. Horizon's open world, but, like, could it have if it was only on PS5? I think yes. And so those, again, goes back to my basic issues of God of War. I really hope this game is only on PS5. I think it's almost a necessity. I think at some point you really have to start moving away from the PS4. All things considered, as I've said in the past, all things considered, I still think you have to do that. I don't mean every game needs to, and you need to leave it completely behind day one, but over time, you need to start. And I think God of War is a really big first game, because, like, Spider-Man 2 is going to be a game that's only on PS5, right? Like, people are going to get shocked by it, even though nobody should be shocked by it. So I think you're going to need some games to, like, almost scare people into, oh, this is the new normal. You're going to have those games, and God of War can be one of those games. So I know, probably unpopular, probably people are going to get mad. It is what it is. Get a PS5. I know it's hard to find. I'm not saying, like, you need to get it today, but, like, it's going to happen eventually. These games are only going to be on PS5 instead of also on PS4, so it's just something we have to get ready for. So let me know in the comments, guys. What do you think? Should it be only on PS5? Should it be on both? Let me know. Again, if you guys did like this, like my controversial opinion, make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, leave a like. Definitely helps YouTube spread the video out more than it normally would. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you all on the next video.